right. Would introduce yourself, tell people where we're at in the evening.
Right now we're in Red Robins. My name is Marty.
Red Robins.
Yum.
Mount Fernie.
Social Club.
What's up, Sketch?
Cool. Well, the thing I always do for Wado Radio is your introduction to Christian hip hop. Tell me that story. We'll go.
My introduction to Christian hip hop, man.
Give it to him. Give him the Michael Peace.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We just met. We got to meet Michael Peace at the Kingdom Choice Awards, and then we had a show in Buffalo, and he wound up coming through there because he's from Rochester. Shout out Michael Peace.
Yeah.
But I know you're familiar with this. You know Stephen Wiley. I remember seeing him at Jesus People Ministries in like 1988. He's also a really dope drummer.
Oh, really?
So like he rapped a little bit, then he did like a clinic on the drums. And I remember always being impressed with that.
Yeah.
But my mom and dad always made an effort to try to take me to the Bible bookstores and always give me a chance to, pick out a Christian CD or a Christian tape at the time, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been versed with Christian hip hop since I was a little kid, and I'm happy about that because I got to see the growth, and to be here now, be a part of it, is crazy when you know the history.
Yeah. What about you?
All right, so I had to be like 16 years old, and my mom took my Dr. Dre 2001 CD and threw it in a bonfire. I don't know why. Church people. I'm just kidding.
Do they really have a bonfire for like all your
they
secular
had like
stuff?
a retreat.
Yeah.
And then they were like, all right, throw in CDs. And then my mom went through my room and saw. I actually got in trouble because it had to be 15 actually. I got the Eminem album, Marshall Mathers. I printed out the real Eminem lyrics, Real Some Shady.
Yeah.
And I had them in class in a private school. Teacher found them, flipped out. So my mom was like on a little quest. She was like, what's that one detective?
Carmen Sandiego?
She was Carmen Sandiego.
Sleuthing.
She was Carmen Santiago. Santiago. And so she got my Dr. Dre CD. I think she got my Limp Bizkit CD. And so my mom was good. My mom didn't want me to just have nothing. She was like, let's go on a trip. So she took me to this place called Jacob's Ladder. That's the name of the Christian place, Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
And they had a list of what you listen to and what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So like, it was really bad list because they would have Wu-Tang Clan, Cross Movement, like they don't sound like them.
Yeah.
But they would do all that stuff, and so actually I was like, I don't know. And then I saw KG52's album, and I felt like all the rappers looked like just whack to me. Like I was like, they had some rappers on, I don't know who they were, but I was like, I don't know who these guys are, and they look crazy. But then I saw KJ and he had the white hood, he's doing this.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, let me hear it. I put it in track 2. It's called 3, 2, 1 or something, and I was like, oh my gosh, he sounds like Eminem. So I got that. The second CD I got was Marzo. The third one was Play-Doh.
Okay.
And Deep Space 5 was like my fourth.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that was the hip hop I liked, was Deep Space 5. I never really got into Cross Movement.
Right.
Or I didn't know who any of those guys were. But yeah, KG52.
Yeah. And you guys just did a song and video with
Both of them,
with-
KG52 and Play-Doh.
Yeah. So tell me about how those connections came about.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Man.
They like
Social media, man.
KG52, we went on tour with them though, at the God Belongs in My City tour in Miami.
Yeah.
And so we just were having fun a while now. And
Did you tell him he sounded like Eminem? Or that's why you liked him?
he was like, I was like, you're my first Christian rapper. He's like, what city was it? And I was like, well, I got 7th Avenue, then I think I even got DJ Magic's CD, which is my favorite.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh man, I remember that. He's like, I just got married, I'm in the studio, it sounds like I got rocks in my mouth, and my fiance was like, my wife was right there, like watching me record, doing this song. And yeah, and so we met KJ through that. Play-Doh heard us do KJ and then hit us up, and he's like, oh man, I always felt like a misfit. So we started that conversation.
Yeah. Awesome. I was gonna ask too how y'all kind of became, it seemed like you were outsiders or not hated, but outsiders in the Christian hip hop industry actually, and now it seems like a lot of people love you. And how has that changed? Like I remember, I think first seeing you writing the Christian rappers like blog. I think even so.
Even the guy who was with us, Ray King, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't like Ray
Right.
King.
Yeah. That's I was talking to Ray about that earlier.
When we first started doing what we were doing, we didn't blatantly have the gospel in each song, and we did that on purpose because we wanted to show people life, life from a Christian. Not every for us, one thing I've been really dealing with more is, all right, I'm saved now. What's next? I know that I will always go back to grace and the gospel, but from there, how can I live my life as a Christian? Like those thoughts that are simple, but I'm really trying to break them down. So for us, we make music that, okay, we're saved, now this is the lifestyle. Instead of, hey, you gotta get saved every song. We talk about Jesus, and every song is a different chapter in our life. I think Fern's the one who really coined that. Was like, I forgot what he said. He said something along those lines of, you know, we talk about God and it's who we are. So sometimes we just talk from a perspective of we serve God more than a perspective of, hey, you need Jesus in every song.
Yeah.
So really, when we first started, people always, they don't like new guys coming in, and that's the truth about it. And then we just didn't care. We still don't care to stay. I don't need them to like me. They're not the fan that I want to have.
Yeah.
I want the kid who's struggling in life. I don't want the 40-year-old guy who's rapping and his career is dying.
Yeah.
So this is where Red Robin's, you know what it is.
I know.
Getting burgers, getting pretzel bites.
Yeah.
So, and then as we get it, people start seeing our hearts.
Yeah.
And from there, we made a lot of good friends. And, you know, I don't think anyone really hated us as much as they just didn't understand us.
Yeah.
It was weird.
For the most part, I always do that. Like I said, I always say it every day. They just needed to hear us.
Yeah.
They could hear us rap, and we were the new kids. We were the new kids on the block. And you know how that is, man. In Christian rap, it shouldn't be about competition and that, but you know, cats are human and all that, and emotions get in the way, and it's hard to see new guys coming up out of nowhere, and like, where are they from, what's going on here? And at the end of the day, when we were able to vocalize and actually get on a couple interviews and they heard what we were about, they couldn't say none of that stuff anymore because the music became secondary.
Yeah.
We were already rapping, you know what I'm saying? I was signed to Sony 2005. It wasn't about rapping. It was about, now we have this platform and we're gonna use it, and whether or not you like it or not. So
Yeah.
you know, I think it was a big miscommunication. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We love everybody. We never had a problem with anybody.
Yeah.
No one's ever been like, I don't like you. It's always been like, hey, let me understand you better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even we hung out with Humble Piece a couple months ago, and they were like, they didn't say anything. They just wanted to hear our story.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, they're like, man, you know, we like you guys more.
Yeah.
It wasn't hey, we don't like you, you know. And so one thing we've always tried to do though is you have Humble Piece, you have Got Over Money, you have Social, you have Reach Records, then we want to be the other one, Social Club, and we want to have fun. We want to show that being Christians doesn't mean you got to be serious and like toned. Let's have fun. Let's serve God. Let's enjoy life.
Yeah. And have you ever, you're very open and honest in your lyrics a lot of times. Have you regretted something that you put on record later on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I regret verses that I put on. I regret the Bizzle song we did for the Well Wishes. I wish I could have spent more time on it. I didn't really like my verse that much. I did it, and afterwards I was like, man, it's done already. You know, and it taught me a lot. And, you know, like I gotta treat everything like it might be the first time someone hears me. And sometimes when you record so much, you get so comfortable, and you're like, whatever, put it out. Worst thing I ever did. I felt really uncomfortable about that song coming out because I felt like it wasn't a good example of social play. It was just, I was just trying to do it.
Yeah.
But Bumps has a new song coming out for his new CD, and I feel like we really took our time on that, and that song was dope.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a nice song.
Yeah. So have you regretted anything that you've written?
The bars.
Yeah, that's funny. I remember I wrote, you know what happens to me a lot of times? I'll be writing stuff and sometimes it's so trendy that I'm not concerned if like, what if this trend goes out tomorrow?
Yeah.
So like, remember the iPhone used to have bars on the left-hand corner, so I was like, I got bars like the iPhone's left corner. And then the next day they switched the format to like iOS whatever, and they became little small balls.
Yeah.
So between me and you, it was an easy transition. I didn't have to change much lyrics, but we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for the most part, from that moment, I try now, because it's happened 2 or 3 times, I'm gonna try to go into the writing and try to be more timeless and say things that could never be misconstrued through time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Classic. More stuff that you could say like, that's now too. So yeah, maybe that.
We're at Red Robin's. This is what it is.
I know.
It's like,
Real life.
Probably the best interview you ever had.
Yeah.
You know, you guys might be surprised to find we're not having
But I'm the one lettuce.
I'm getting sick of it.
Yeah.
I love pizza. I'm getting sick of it though.
Yeah. Do fans try to bring you pizza?
Oh,
and stuff?
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we throw pizza off stage. They give us pizza and throw off stage.
Yeah.
So most of the time we're throwing pizza off stage.